recognize everybody that we can. We want to thank our sponsors, of course, SUNY Cortland, Damon University, Richmond Bona, Logistics Plus of Buffalo, Wingnuts of Buffalo, Lewis and Lewis attorneys, Daniel Chacha attorneys, St. Joe's Collegiate, Canisius High School, St. Francis. There's so many more we're going to get to throughout the show. We're going to make sure everyone gets thanked. Thank you very much. I'm sure the audio is coming through now, right, Tim? Yeah. My producer says the audio is coming through. Yeah. So we saw your message, Colin. Thank you very much, the Tonawanda assistant coach. Good to see you, buddy. I saw him last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, maybe against O'Hara. Actually, the numbers look pretty good out there at Tonawanda. I know they didn't do well last week on the scoreboard, but young team, and I'll tell you that team was more energetic than I've seen them in quite some time. So, good job to those guys. Anyways, High School Football Weekly. On the show today, we'll have Eric Rupp from Lancaster. We'll have Mike Ceslick from Orchard Park, 2 head coaches. They go at it Friday night, a game that can be seen on Western York Athletics. We're also going to have Harlem Brandon from Kenmore West. He just had a phenomenal week against Lockport on Saturday in their first win of the season. And before that, I believe Mason Anderson, West Seneca West Warhawks, the freshman quarterback, with a 5-touchdown debut, not too shabby, over Frontier on Friday night. Great job to him. We'll talk about all the Connelly Cup winners this week, all 15 of them. We'll talk about the Trench Trophy guys that were nominated this week, and so many other things we're going to get to. But thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate you out there in high school football land. Congratulations to all those teams that won big this weekend, even those teams that snuck by. A lot of good games, a lot of close games. St. Francis going out of town, taking on a tough team in Ohio, did very well. St. Joe's went down to Albany to play Cardinal Hayes, and they hung in there with Cardinal Hayes. I know they lost by a couple of touchdowns, but they were in that game for a while. I talked to a couple of different people that were actually at that game and said, I was expecting to get blown out, but we didn't. We were in that game, so congratulations to them. And Canisius did good grade on Saturday. Elijah Kimball, something else. Something else.
Didn't even play the whole time and still had numbers
Yeah.
that were just extraordinary as far as Western New York goes.
Yeah, so that was great. They go out to play Ironton this weekend. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the team that really put a hurting on St. Francis last year. I think that's the one. So I'll go back and double check, but I think that's the team. So that's a huge test for Canisius. Regardless, that's our show for today. I want to talk about, first we're going to get into the games that we actually streamed last week or attended. And the first game that we streamed this year on NFHS was Kenmore East visiting Amherst. And you were on the call of that game with Jake Fyock. Did a great job. And was it 7-0, the final score?
And it was the first drive for Amherst. No scoring after the first drive of the game.
Those are some of the toughest games to do. What went wrong for Kenmore East? From what I was watching and hearing from you and Jake was they seemed to be the stronger team, the more balanced team. The problem was they couldn't sustain drives because of penalties. They had maybe a touchdown taken away, maybe more, one for sure.
One was taken away.
Okay.
It was unfortunately, if it was at the collegiate level or the NFL level, we would be putting it as a highlight reel for us. It went up in the air, right? You can't leave your feet in high school. It's a penalty if you try to leapfrog somebody. And he leaped into the end zone over somebody. Penalty gets called, 15 yards, no touchdown, and that's kind of what.
15 yards from the line of scrimmage?
No. It was,
or 15 yards from... They were inside the 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say the 2 is where they
Okay.
Or when he got down there, it was the penalty happened where it actually happened. That was at the 2-yard line, so they went 15 yards back from there.
Okay.
It was penalties, there's no doubt. But the other thing was the center exchange, especially when they were in shotgun. The shotgun went over Lubeski's head multiple times, and that killed drives as well. But you can see Lubeski as a quarterback, like this kid's going to get better and better. He's somebody to watch out for. I really liked a lot of the things that we saw out of him.
Kenmore East.
Yes, and that's their quarterback. But you got to give a kid like Tim Yap on Amherst tons of credit. Ken Maurice was going in. He comes about 5 yards off the play after he gets beat, comes running down, does one of those Don Beebe plays where he knocks the ball out of his hand, gets the ball, they get it back. But that was the kind of plays that you were seeing happen all the time. There was, I want to say, Ken Maurice had 4 turnovers in the game, and 2 of them were fumbles, and then interceptions that were out there as well. But it was interceptions that you were trying to throw the ball when it was like, late high third and 15, that type of thing, where you're trying to throw the ball up, and there were those type of interceptions. Okay. But I mean, listen, Amherst played defensively, had a game. There's no doubt. Both teams played well, but it was 2 different styles. Amherst, run, 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 wildcat, 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 run. That's all it was. This was about running. And in Ken Maurice, more balanced, could run the ball as well as pass the ball, but eventually had to go to the pass because they were constantly trying to get back. But listen, Ken Maurice is a team I think that's going to get better and better and better. Amherst is a team that if you take them lightly, you can see exactly what happens. They got a team there, and they're buying into the system in Amherst. And I really like what I saw from both teams.
I went to Wilson to catch Alden and the Lakeman. I sat next to, for most of the game, Lane Jaworowitz, the former running back, quarterback, Wildcat kid he's a great kid. Yep. He's a great kid. Went to Cortland. It didn't work out. He had some concussion issues, recognized that, and said, I still got a lot to give this game. Young kid. So he's working in the trades right now. He's and working with the modified program there, and then doing some work with the new coaching staff there on game day, doing stats and things. So we had a great time up in the press box. Jeff Roth, thank you very much for the hospitality. We'll be going up there for a game, in the too distant future. But yeah, it was a good game for Wilson, who, got themselves in good field position early. On most drives, they would bring the ball into Alden territory and have short fields to work with. And Ryan Huff is an electric football player to watch in all phases
for a couple of years.
Yeah, all phases of the game. He's a great athlete, good all-around athlete. Plays basketball too. So I was impressed with a lot of different players on Wilson, but he stood out for sure as a kid that you're going to have to pay attention to and watch. The quarterback still got some growing to do, I think, at the position as a whole, but he's getting better from what I saw last year to now. He seemed to be a little more elusive in the pocket, meaning I like the way he was able to move out of the pocket and make plays on the run, where I didn't necessarily get a good look at him doing that last year. So the quarterback at Wilson, I think he got better from last year, and that's only going to help that team long term and see what they can do in D.
And it should help that he can throw the ball up to Huff, because this is a kid that can dunk the ball highlight reel. So
just
this
get it
kid
up there,
could go up in the air. That sometimes you could just say as, hey, listen, like I did with Randy Moss, you throw the ball up, he's going to get it. Huff's going to be able to do the same exact type thing.
Yeah, and then for Wilson, Brock Lepsch, who going into that game I thought would probably get a good 20 to 25 carries. He didn't, and he probably didn't have to. He still made his presence known. You knew he was in the game. He had a number of tackles, and he got his carries and things and that. But, without him having to do much in week 1, it shows you that they may have a little bit more depth than we thought, or they may be more balanced. So watch out for Wilson long-term, I think, in Class D this season, even though they played a C team. They looked very good week 1. So congratulations to Wilson on their first big win. Will North Jamestown, it was almost a carbon copy of the night before. Jamestown, opening kickoffs, getting deep into Will North territory. And it goes right into the hands of
Richards at around the
Great drive starts. I want to say their first 3 or 4 drive starts were all within the 35, 40-yard line. And it was just one after the other. That's a freshman running the football right there on that opening kickoff. That's the opening kickoff going for huge yardage. And then, of course, Chase Bonta does his thing from short yardage. He's tough to wrap up. That's what I noticed more about Chase in this game, is he's just tough to bring down. He's stronger, lower, tough to bring down. And I think that served him very well against the Will North defense. They've got some good players there. I'm surprised the way they were able to easily handle Will North. I was expecting Will North to have a good day passing. They didn't. Late, they got a touchdown from Cal Rogers, who's a player, but you didn't see that touchdown till the end. He made a couple of nice tackles throughout the game. Jamestown's very strong. The young quarterback didn't have to do a lot because Chase Bonta was there and he didn't have
It reminds me back of when Jamestown was just a few years ago. Remember, freshman quarterback, they bring in at Drake, didn't do much that year. He had Butera that could run the ball all over the field. Very similar to that team. When I look at it is, now you got Bonta instead of Butera, and you got a new quarterback instead of, obviously Drake right out there. That he doesn't have to do much. And that's going to be one of the biggest things that we're going to go see is can they keep it so he doesn't have to go out there and do much.
The DNs for Jamestown, DeLeon, I think, is one of them. They're just good at getting into the backfield and putting that quarterback, keeping him in the pocket, nowhere to go. He didn't have anywhere to go. And that's why Jamestown was so effective defensively, is they just trapped the quarterback. He had nowhere to bounce out to and really didn't have a lot of time to throw the ball. Jamestown might be better than they were last year. Heading into this game, Tom, I had a lot of question marks. They were answered last Friday night. Jamestown is going to be as tough as they were last year. Might be a little bit better. Might be a little better. And you know how good they were last year.
That AA conference after week one is going to be very, very interesting.
I will tell you, I know we didn't see Will North's best performance on Friday. I'm expecting them to go through a very tough week of practice this week. I'm sure they're getting worked like dogs. They'll be better than they were for this loss because they were manhandled Friday, and it's going to take a little while to get the stink off. But once they get practicing again, I know that coach, Polizzi, does a great job. He pulled no punches on Friday when we talked to him, and I know those guys are going to be better for this loss. A lot of teams get better after a loss.
Absolutely. And again, it's a non-conference loss. The loss means nothing. So the good news is now you know what good looks like. This is what you're going to need to do to go win a conference. Now let's make those changes so we can go after that.
Exactly. Will East, Will South was also on Western New York Athletics. That was actually on our YouTube page. Mark Johnson and Tim Rozek called that game. Heidi, did you produce that one? Heidi's in studio. She produced that game. You did a great job. And Will East, I think from the early onsets of that game, just took control. I want to say they scored maybe towards the end of that first quarter. The quarterback looked really good. The young running back that we talked a little bit about on the show last week had a nice, I want to say 60-yarder, was it, Tim? 61-yard touchdown.
Right there.
No, he wears 25. But it was a well-balanced offensive attack for the Will East Flames. The quarterback can run. You're seeing him on the highlights right there. He showed that he can move in the pocket. Will South didn't back down, though. They were in this game. They had it tied up going into the third, or there in the third. But there's the big run we're talking about, Tom. You're seeing on your screen right now for Will East. They really showed off some flashes of that offense that we didn't really know much about coming into the season. That running back, I believe that's his first game. Am I correct in that one, Tim? Was that his? Yeah, second year playing for Will East. So I mean, he had a great week one. They're going to play Hamburg this week. I'm almost positive, Timmy. Am I correct in assuming that? Yeah. So look at Hamburg this week. But he looked really good. Kyer Smith, 103 yards on the day in the loss. He had the 61-yard touchdown. That's the guy we're talking about. In the win, I'm sorry. Yeah, in the win. Joe Santoro had 80 yards receiving. And then the young quarterback who Joe Licata has been working with, and now he's got a game plan for, Anthony Martis. So just a junior, he had a pretty good day as well. Good day for Will East.
And remember what he said to us on the show last week. He felt that this was one of the best quarterbacks, bar none, in Western New York. We heard that right from Joe Licata that said there's no doubt. I've said this, and probably a lot of people haven't heard me, but that's how good this quarterback is right now that he had to face.
Yeah, there were some turnovers there in the game that I'm sure Will East will want to. That took advantage. Will South would have wanted back, but an overall pretty good game for the most part. And of course, that's on our YouTube page. You can watch that whenever you want. Saturday, we did Canisius hosted Scranton Prep, and we started talking about the day Elijah Kimball had. Incredible day. to start the season, and Tanner did a really good job on the play-by-play there. Joe Kraus did a great job on Saturday with Rick Tom, the former coach from NT. He did a great job as well calling that game. Canisius is they are who they are, a tough team. Amir Hernandez had a good game. Congrats to Craig Krasansky on the win. First win out of the year for them.
There are not too many teams that we can ever say in Western New York that has 2 running backs in the backfield that have Division I offers.
We're going to be talking about that all year long. But I think you're going to find more D1 offers coming their way as the season goes. Look at the way this kid jukes downfield, 30 yards downfield. He's still juking guys out, literally taking them out of their cleats. He's exciting to watch. I love that little run there, too, is that Amir? Yep. Is that Amir's run?
That's 3 right there.
Yeah, he's another tough runner. Looks like he coughed it up there, but no damage. Just watching these guys move. Elijah Kimball, the way he works his craft, you can tell how hard this kid works in the offseason. It showed you right there. That's what hard work will get you. Runs like that.
What I love about his game is not only does he have the speed and be able to go east-west as well as north-south, but he can easily take on contact. Watch what he does as yards after contact, because that's something he can really bring to the table and separate himself as a runner.
Well, he's not afraid of contact.
No.
He's not afraid of the contact. Kind of like the Tyrone Clark kid from St. Francis. If he's got to take a hit at the line to bounce out, he's willing to do that, and I think that's why those are 2 of the best running backs in Western New York. Congrats to that Canisius team on the big win, to the out-of-town team. It was a team they beat a year ago, week 1 as well. Pioneer Lackawanna, you were at that game, and it was a game that we've been waiting for the last couple of years. Finally, it comes to fruition. Your thoughts on Lackawanna? I think you texted me and said, wow, before the game, you texted me and said, they look like they've got a pretty big line here. How did they hold up to Pioneers overall?
Well, you think about it, it's obviously you held Pioneer to 7 points, so you did something right. But the line, when you look at it, you could just look at the size of some of the lines right there. You could see it. They really only lost. Sammy was their biggest loss when you look at the line, but they brought back most of their offensive linemen that were there last year and really had to make up for Sammy. Pioneer really proved in this game next man up. They have tons of injuries right now that they're battling through. So to get a victory, knowing that you're also your best player on that is probably on the field that we looked at. We were looking at everybody before the season had to say Isaac Platt would be one of the kids we were going to look at the Connelly Cup. Early on, it's one of the kids that would absolutely get looks. Well, he was injured. So you as a team know that your best player is not going to be able to play, and we're playing against a team that we know how good it is. They stepped up and delivered in that game. I think this is going to be something that was good for both of these teams to learn from, to be able to get their teams obviously ready. But I'll tell you, the one kid that, to me, that really stood out more than anything is Dakota Smith.
Okay.
I love this.
Is that number 80?
He plays 2 different things, but yes.
Is that number 80?
480, yes, is what we'll see from him. He had 10 tackles in this one, 2 for a loss, 2 sacks in this game. It just seemed every time something happened on defense, that's the kid's name that we were out there calling.
Always around the football. Those are the kids you got love to have.
He's going to be, like I said, a lot of fun to be able to watch out there in this one. And then the other one, I want to flip it for Lackawanna. The kid that we seem to be calling all day long was Dolly. That's number 5 for Lackawanna. He's a kid that we seem to call all week long, or all day long, sorry. And then the other one, a defensive lineman, which was Kurt Stevens Jr. We were, again, 55, constantly saying his name.
Dakota Smith has 2 jersey numbers. He's that good. He wears 54 and 80.
Yeah.
So I don't know if 54 is the home jersey and 80 is the away jersey, perhaps. So he's got 2, and that's Dakota with a T. Dakota Smith, senior, 6'4", 245. I believe we've seen him at Highmark. And again, I thought he was a guy that was parking cars or something. He's a big dude.
There are not too many people that I stand next to that I look small.
Yeah, he made you look small.
He made me look small. You know what I mean? And what was fun after we did, Jake got the chance to do the post-game interview there. And Dakota's little brother comes walking over to us and says, "Hey, is that going to be out?" And I said, "Why? Is this one of your brothers out there?" He goes, "Yeah, my brother's Dakota." And he was you could just see he was so proud of his brother out there and couldn't wait to see the interview.
Tell you who I can't be more proud of is these guys right here. Sean Dolak, former West Seneca East Trojan, playing for the LA Rams this weekend, had 2 tackles. Joe Andreessen had a tackle for the Buffalo Bills, both out of UB. You know, Isaiah McDuffie at Green Bay. You know, it's like a domino effect. Isaiah made it. Well, Kadri Ellison, so many before them, but Isaiah made it. Andreessen makes it, and now Dolek. And who's next? Someone out there right now, probably just played this weekend, will be playing not too far in the distant future on Sunday. And I love the fact that we're doing ECC games on Sunday, because some of those guys that may not have the grades right now, but they've got the drive and they've got the talent, can go play at ECC for a year or 2, work on some things personally to get ready, and maybe then they go to Syracuse or UB or wherever, Mercyhurst. Look at Cam Barmore.
Look at Dylan Evans, what he's doing right now down in Mercyhurst.
And he's doing great, but Cam Barmore is having a phenomenal first 2 games at Arizona. I think that's the next kid to make it the next leap into the NFL. And you know who said that a long time ago? Dick Gallagher. He goes, that kid is going to the NFL. That was a long time ago, and I thought Dick was nuts. I'm like, really? Out of climber?
I remember him saying that, by the way. I do, too.
You really think he's going to go, Dick? I mean, I love the kid, but the NFL? That's an NFL player. And he was right. Well, he is right.
He also, I want to say, was a 6'6", 6'8" high jumper as well.
Sure, yeah.
So this is somebody with that body that really shows it's more than one sport.
And he slam dunk, and he can dunk the basketball. I mean, it's 6'6". How can you not? We're going to take a quick break. We're taking our sweet time here. I know Eric Rupp's waiting to come in. When we get back, we're going to probably go through our Connelly and Trench Trophy guys, and then we're going to bring on Eric Rupp from Orchard Park. You're watching Western New York High School Football Weekly.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve.
You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals.
If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Welcome back to Western New York High School Football Weekly. Do we want to jump right into Eric, or should we go to the Connelly Cup, guys? I know Eric's been waiting a few minutes there. What do you want to do, Tim? Okay. Eric Rupp, the head coach of the Lancaster Legends, and a very exciting week 1 at All High Stadium as they took on McKinley in Class A. And I think I was telling you that McKinley was really looking forward to this first game and may surprise some people. Yep. Are you more surprised than Eric, or is Eric more surprised than you? What do you think? We're going to ask him.
I bet you he's not surprised because he prepares for just about everything. So I'm going to say I'm more surprised than probably Eric is.
Eric, thank you for joining us. I know it's not your first rodeo here on a high school weekly show. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
We like having you in there. You're a straight shooter. You tell us how it is, and we appreciate that. Have you talked to Sean Brusso since he's gone down to Georgia?
Every single day. We're talking, we're sharing plays, ideas, things of that nature. So we're just continuing to bounce things off of Sean, and he's doing well.
Good to hear. So you got the guys heading into the season. I mean, Daniel Ahern's one of the guys that we've heard of before, and we knew Matt King was going to be the quarterback of the team. Just talk about the preparation for this week. I have to ask, did some of the guys in that locker room overlook their opponent at all, or was McKinley that strong?
No, I don't think so. First of all, a lot of credit goes to McKinley. That is a dangerous team, and if they stay healthy, I would expect them to contend for a Class A championship. Ford is incredible. They have a couple other guys that are really dynamic. And as far as my guys go, there's no secret. We graduated 35 seniors. So we had 18 kids make their first career varsity start Friday night at All High. And, Coach Davis had McKinley ready to go. And we were on our heels for a little bit, but to our kids' credit, they handled the adversity well. They kept on working hard, and, we found a way to win in the end. It was almost a carbon copy of the Bills game Sunday night.
I mean, Ford had
that's a good
Ford had close to 500 yards of total offense for McKinley. That's incredible. And Eric, we did have an idea that McKinley was going to be at the top of the division once things got down to the meat of everything. We know McKinley's got a strong team returning. We know Ford's good. We know Staples is good. Who else stood out to you from McKinley?
I think what impressed me most was their defensive line. All five of those guys were really good. They were in a Bears front most of the game. They got a 360-pound nose, and then they got, two bookends that were just creating all sorts of havoc off the edge for us. And, brand new offensive line. So it took us a little bit of time to adjust. And, like I said, in the end, we found a way, but it's just a tremendous learning experience for our kids.
And you want that experience early in the season, do you not?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to have some adversity.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only way you grow, and their team speed is similar to what we'll see with Bennett, Niagara Falls, and Lockport.
Coach, 2 years in a row, the last play in your first game is how the game ends, right? One was in a loss this year, it was with a win. But how do you learn from that? What do you take away right now to help you advance into the AA conference?
Yeah, I think it's just some confidence, right? We talk to guys a lot. Coach Jankovic used to say it all the time. You don't really know what you have until week 2. So we got a lot of pieces. We're going to move some around this week. We're going to try some different things schematically. But the big thing is just getting these guys on tape and coaching them up off of it and growing.
So obviously you're about to go into what I still will say is a rivalry game. Whether it is or not, you're about to play a rivalry game. It always is between you and Orchard Park. So now you got a chance to see a little bit what you're to prepare for. What do you need to prepare for now that you're about to go into the Orchard Park game?
From a defensive perspective, Orchard Park a lot at you. There's a lot of multiplicity in their offense, a lot of formations, a lot of shifts, a lot of trades, things like that. So that can cause some problems if you're not, gap sound, and if we don't have our checks in order. And then defensively, or from our offensive perspective, their defense, they have a lot of good athletes. There's another Machiavelli who's very good, and you have a Dana. I think Fleming's good inside. Wright's a big physical linebacker. They're very talented and well coached. So, it is a rivalry game. You're right about that. Lancaster always gets up to play OP, and OP always gets up to play Lancaster. So it's one of the best matchups typically every year, and it's supposed to be a beautiful night, Friday night. So that's what high school football is all about.
We'll be there doing that game. I believe that's on Western New York Athletics too, Tim, is it not? Yeah. So that'll be a Western New York Athletics game, and we're looking forward to doing that. Who's on that call out, by the way? You and Stu Boyer. Okay. So you got our best. You got our A team coming out there. Tom wants to know if Chick-fil-A will be in the concession stand.
Yep, our Rotary. We'll have Chick-fil-A sandwiches available.
We can cross that question off.
Yeah.
So, but you have a bit of a gauntlet here. I mean, you're going to get Orchard Park Friday, then you got to go down to Jamestown. Hutch Tech comes to town, and then it's Lockport, it's Niagara Falls, those strong athletic type teams that you talk about, and then Bennett. So there's really no nights off in Class AA. You guys really have to kind of kick it into gear this week, and I'm sure you want to, really continue to do that this week. You got the momentum right now. Obviously, a big win, comeback style, last Friday night has got to propel those guys into what the task at hand this Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you said it right. Like AA is typically loaded, and I think this year is very even. I mean, Jamestown is very good. Bennett's very good. I think the Niagara Falls with Taylor at quarterback is going to pose a lot of problems. Certainly Orchard Park is very good, right? Like you can just go up and down every single team. Everybody has a lot of talent, and I think anybody can beat anybody on any given Friday night.
Coach, you said you had 35 seniors that graduated. Last year, one of the things that I loved hearing when you were actually on the show, you told me how you treated your team like a college team, because not many players play both offense and defense. Usually it's you either play defense or you play offense. It's one side of the ball, just like the collegiate players do. Do you think this year, because you had so many kids to get ready, that there was more of a learning curve or more of an opportunity that you had to get players ready just because it was so many players that were brand new?
Yeah, I mean, there's no substitute for experience, but coaching is teaching. So that's our job. Our staff has been together now for a decade, and we need to teach kids obviously good fundamentals. We need to teach them situational football, and we want to teach them about life as well, right? Like, how do you handle adversity? What does it mean to be part of a team? Right? Like, let's keep working hard. I can go on and on, but that's our job, and that's the beauty of a public school, right? You get who you get, and there's no transfer portal, there's no recruiting. And every year you have unique challenges, right? You have to adapt your system to what you have. But that's what I love about it. And each year presents its own challenges, and, we're up for it.
So you did, though, say your coaching staff has been together for over a decade, but there is a new member of that coaching staff. We got to ask you how he's fitting into that coaching staff right now.
Coach Cawley's doing great. He's fully retired now, so he comes to practice every day fired up. He's a wealth of knowledge. He's got a lot of energy, and he's doing great things with our D-backs. So we're really happy that Pat has joined us this season.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck on Friday night. I know we've kept you enough. You got some game planning to do, and hopefully you're going to have dinner sometime tonight. I know you coaches, you guys work from the minute you get up, and plus you're also the athletic director, so you're probably at a game tonight somewhere, making sure the students were behaving themselves, and I'm sure they were. But best of luck on Friday night to a safe rest of the season. And I don't know, have the Bills called you to ask you what you want in your office this year when you make your trip back in week 9 or 10 or whatever that is? Did you get new furniture in your office down there?
Not even thought about it. Just focused on the Quakers right now.
Do you realize this run, I will say, I said this on air, but I don't know if I said it directly to Eric. This run that you've started with a special teams play.
Yeah.
Think about that. Remember? The pooch punt, Jenka steps back, it gets blocked, goes back, and that's been when the run has started ever since then.
Yeah, that was wild. We call that the Mahalski miracle. Jake Mahalski was the one who scored that touchdown. I'll never forget that game, right? It was my first year coaching. I think we're 5-0. Orchard Park's 5-0. Rolling into Orchard Park on a Saturday afternoon against Coach Tundo on homecoming. It's a big like festival.
Probably
I don't really get nervous, but I can remember it was his second last season. Yeah. I still remember to this day being nervous. I'm like, oh man, Coach Tundo, homecoming. But our kids prevailed.
But that's ever since that. Think about it, that's the play, and you've gone on your run ever since.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how things work out sometimes. But high school football is cyclical, right? When I was playing, Jamestown was dominant, and then it was Orchard Park's turn, and now things have changed. But it's just great anytime that us and OP can get together.
Coach, best of luck to you the rest of the way, and thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Take care.
Eric Rupp on the Western New York Athletics High School Football Hotline. Let's call it the hotline.
A hotline, I love it.
Hotline with Eric Rupp. All right, we're going to be back with the Connelly Cup Trench Trophy, and then we'll talk to Coach Mike Ceslick of Orchard Park afterward from our sponsors.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve.
You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals.
If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Nuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests. With custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
I'm George Wiley, a senior at Canisius High School. As the only Jesuit high school in Western New York, Canisius delivers a life-changing education. Canisius prepares young men for acceptance into the nation's finest universities, and our community supports us at each step of our journey. We are proud of our excellent athletics and our emphasis on service. This place is special. Let us show you why.
Experience firsthand the excellence of Canisius High School. Schedule your visit at canisiushigh.org.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Back to Western New York Athletics High School Football Weekly. Frank Wolf, Tom Prince, Tim Gardner producing. Heidi Gunther's here as well in studio. We've got a couple of guests coming in. It's going to be Mike Ceslick of Orchard Park in just a second. But we want to talk about those Connelly Cup Legends Week, Player of the Week for Week 1. They were Chase Bonta from Jamestown, Harlem Brandon from Kemmer West, Trent Buttles from St. Francis, Matt Capon from Newfane, Kayla Ford from McKinley, Ryan Huff of Wilson, Elijah Kimball of Canisius, Dylan Mentley Peters of Gowanda Pine Valley, Christian Moss Medina, Dominic Nucci Grand Island, Kavion Pitts, Health Sciences, Scott Stowe of Lockport, Dylan Swanson from Cattaraugus Little Valley, Brady Waring from Eden North Collins, and Sawyer Whitney from Clymer Sherman Panama. Tom, you got the Trench guys?
Absolutely. So your Week 1 nominees for the Trench Trophy: from Wilson, Trent Abbott; from West Seneca East, Anthony DiMartino; from Chautauqua Lake, Westfield Brockton, Trent Hauser; from Williamsville South, Baron Schnell; from West Seneca West, Pat Allen; from Newfane, Colin Doxey; and from Depew, Mason McGloin.
And again, our sponsors we want to thank today: Damon University, Richmond Vona, SUNY Cortland, Logistics Plus of Buffalo, G&G Fitness Equipment, Wingnuts of Buffalo, Pathfinder, College Service, College Planning, Dan Chacha Attorneys, 510 Toy Shop and Sports Cars, 510toyshop.com, the Mental Match with Sam Recco, and then Canisius, St. Joe's, St. Francis, the Trench Trophy, Lewis & Lewis, 337 Franklin Street, Buffalo, New York. Mike Ceslick, the head coach from Orchard Park, joins us to wrap with us a little bit. Week 1, it was a tough one with Health Sciences, but you get to redeem yourself maybe against Lancaster this week. Ceslick, how are you, buddy?
Good. How are you? Thanks, Frank, for having me on. Tom, good to see you guys. You don't hear this enough, but as we start the new football season, thanks for everything you do for not only us in Orchard Park, but all of Western New York football. Appreciate it.
Well, Tom's still got a lot of skin in the game up there. Are you Mr. OP or is Luke the mayor?
If anything, it's Luke. It's not me whatsoever. He'll tell you Luke will always be known as the mayor. So
can't argue with that answer.
Yeah.
Coach Ceslick, I didn't have this guy on my bingo board last week, but can you tell me about Jarek Bresky?
I sure can. The most important thing to tell you about Jarek Bresky is he's a great young man, great individual, hard worker, great teammate, leader, just a great guy to have on your team. It's somebody everybody is proud to coach and be a part of. He's a young man who's overcome a lot of adversity. He missed his entire junior season with a couple of injuries. He is a dual sport athlete, worked incredibly hard in the spring, earned himself an opportunity to play some college lacrosse and came back healthy, had a great summer. And he's done nothing but put himself in a situation to help the Quakers win football games. We graduated Carter Switek and Trayvon Thomas, 2 running backs that are both playing Division III football. Trayvon's at Baldwin Wallace and Carter's at Ithaca. And so Jarek helps us. He's got great vision. He's a great athlete, and he's got great vision. So he won the running back 1 competition in camp and had a really, really good week 1 for us. Couldn't be happier or more proud of that kid.
You guys played Sweet Home, I think, in back-to-back opening weeks. Now you get Health Sciences and a Class A team. They were Class B a year ago, but we all know that they are a very strong program. A lot of athletes over there. What impressed you the most about Health Sciences in that first week? You knew they were fast. Did you know they were that fast?
We did. And the only reason we did is because we faced them a couple of times in the spring and in the summer in various 7-on-7 tournaments. So it was evident they had speed. But to be honest with you, the thing that impressed me and our staff the most was their physicality. And that defense comes downhill and they stick people. They fly to the football. They rally. They have size up front. They're a very strong football team. Playing them only makes us better. It's non-league. The game doesn't count towards playoff standings or towards playoff implications. And if you're going to play the Lancasters and the Bennetts and the Niagara Falls and other teams that we play, if you get a chance to prepare against a team like Health Sciences, coached by Ty Parker, you take that opportunity every time.
So the game, obviously, Health Sciences won. It was 40-13, whatever, but it was close early on.
Yeah, I thought we played a pretty good half. I mean, it couldn't have started any worse for us. They returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. And then, we answered back, which I was very proud of the guys, scored a touchdown. And then, we battled a little bit. We had a player in the secondary trip and fall, and they scored at the end of the first half. We were up 13-12. So anytime you're up 13-12 against a real difficult opponent, you'll take that, especially week one. I think the thing that really got us in trouble is you can't give a great team additional possessions. And not only did we do that, but they turned those additional possessions as far as takeaways are concerned into 6 points a couple of times in the second half. So we know what we did. We know what mistakes we made. Week one's always a trick, especially when you have some young guys in really high demand positions. We'll get better from it for sure. We've already coached them up, and we're ready for this week. What a big week.
Coach, talk about getting ready for a new quarterback. That's always hard from year to year, especially it's their first game, and obviously seeing such a top-notch team in health sciences. But you always know every certain couple years that new quarterback comes, you lost a tremendous quarterback from last year. So talk about the development of your quarterback position.
Yes. So we have a junior starting for us this year. His name's Jaden Hassett, number 15. Very similar to Jarek Bresky and the compliments that I paid him earlier. He's a great young man. He's an extremely hard worker. He's coachable. He looks you in the eye. He takes responsibility. He's working on developing his leadership skills. But nothing prepares you for AA football except for AA football. And he's learning that, and he knows that. But he attacks every day like it's a new day. Puts a lot of time and effort with our offensive coordinator, Chris Frankowski, and a lot of effort with me. So that's all I can ask for from our guys, right? Work your butt off and watch film and get yourself ready for each week. And, I know it's cliche, but you got to trust that process and get better each week. So that's kind of what we're taking on this year in the 2025 season. We're not looking to prove anything to anybody. We just want to get better each week and get a little bit closer as a team and a little bit stronger fundamentally. And we should be happy where we're at the end of the season if we take care of business.
Hindsight's always 20/20, Coach. So if you look back at that game right now, that health sciences game, what's the takeaways that you now say is, if we do this differently, we can use this against a good Lancaster team to be able to go after a victory?
Sure. Well, let me say this for the 500th time in my 4 years as head coach at the Quakers. Lancaster is exceptionally coached. They're loaded with athletes who play hard, to platoon for their guys, and they're going to be ready to play. They're ready to play every single week. So, we understand that at Orchard Park. We're looking to, put words on the back burner and get some actions going on Friday night. We've talked a lot about having to step up and weather the storm. Coach Michael's our defensive coordinator. He has a basketball background. Coach Frankowski's got a basketball background, and I've coached some in my life as well. So, we're teaching guys to survive the run. We could go up 2 scores or 1 score, or go down 2 scores or 1 score, and each team's going to make a run. And it's going to come down to, us making sure that we survive that run and just getting ourselves ready, for a physical football game, and a well-coached football team. So, they're good on all 3 phases, not just on offense or not just on defense. So, we're working hard every day to make sure that, we're ready with a plan ABC on all 3 phases.
Coach, I'm going to ask you the dumbest question of the week, if you don't mind, if you got a second.
Of course.
Is it any easier playing this game at Lancaster than it is at home? In a rivalry such as that, I know you guys have 2 rabid fan bases. I hear it because when we do games at Lancaster, we're on the Lancaster side, and you can hear the fans getting on their coaching staff. Is it the same way for you at Orchard Park, and is it any easier to play that game on the road than it is at home?
Frank, that's a great question, and it's hard for me to answer because I just dial in. I become emotional and excited about the game. And when I'm done coaching a football game, I'm exhausted. So, it really doesn't matter to me. I got this goofy saying that I say with the guys, it could be on the 219, on the tennis courts, or in a cornfield. It doesn't really matter to us as long as we're together, wearing maroon and white. So, no disrespect to Lancaster or to the Quakers fans. I love our Quakers fans, but if we got a team of 44 and our 4 coaches and we're just going after it, and as long as we're together, it doesn't matter to us where we play it.
Can I add into that, Coach? So I've seen both sides of the spectrum over there. If I was to help answer that, I'd say Lancaster. And the reason why is you are right on. The fans are right on you at Lancaster. You don't have the buffer like you have in Orchard Park. You got the track, you got a buffer. In Lancaster, they're right on you where you can hear. I can hear sometimes if I'm sitting in the front, I can hear everything you're telling a player just sitting right there.
You're saying it's worse to play at Lancaster.
That's what I'm saying, is I think it's worse over at Lancaster to be able to say that's the harder place to play.
Well, aren't you one of those guys that were behind the fence in the end zone?
No,
your kids are playing?
Well, I went out of the way. He was there. I wanted nothing to do with anybody until after the game. But I would think that's the harder place.
Yeah, I mean, we have a real supportive Quaker football family. So, like I said, we're all in. And in order to compete against a great Lancaster team, there's no downtime. There's no chance to look back at the stands. You're trying to make every little adjustment. You're trying to communicate with the guys, over communicate with the guys, make sure we're all on the same page. Does it get loud there? Is it an exciting atmosphere? Absolutely. But like I said, it doesn't matter to us where we play it as long as we're together.
Coach, again, thank you very much for joining us. I know you got some game planning to do and want to spend some time with your family. So taking a little bit out of your time Wednesday night for Tom and I, we really appreciate it. Best of luck to you guys. Stay safe. Have a restful week and a safe rest of the season. I do want to give kudos to one of your former players, though. Dylan Evans is having a remarkable season early on at Mercyhurst. And he has a lot to thank for that, and you're one of those coaches that helped him get him where he is. So,
well, thank you. He's an incredible young man as well, and nothing makes us happier than watching the guys that we've coached, honor their past and continually attacking their future. So good for Dylan, and he's got a bunch of Mercyhurst fans in Orchard Park for sure.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate you joining us. Good luck on Friday night and the rest of the season.
Thank you, gentlemen.
It's Michael Ceslick, the head coach of Orchard Park. Tom, is that his? Would you say it's his 5th or 6th year there?
You're gonna put me on the spot right there.
Because he had your middle child. He didn't have. Did he have Zach? He didn't have Zachary.
In fact, no, he didn't. No, I want to say Coach Dana had Jordan.
Yeah. Oh, Dana had Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think Coach Ceslick came in right after that.
I would say it's his 3rd year then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to correct myself earlier, and I apologize to Winter Mentley Peters. That's the young man's name, who I want to say I met last year when I went to visit Gowanda before the season. Tough kid. So I apologize. His name is Winter Mentley Peters. He was recognized by the Connelly Cup for his phenomenal week last Friday night. I saw that game, though, in Akron. I think they were down early, and everybody I said, hey, Gowanda's losing. They couldn't believe it. No way. They were losing to Akron. Anyways, we're going to get into the hall pass. Before we bring in Mason Anderson from West Seneca West, he's going to join Tom and I on the show. Take a look at the latest film by Mario Hall. You catch him at most of these games. He did the hall pass last Friday night of that Orchard Park Health Sciences game. You're going to want to catch it coming up right now on Western New York High School Football Weekly. Welcome back to Western New York High School Football Weekly. Frank Wolf, Tom Prince, Tim Gardner producing. Heidi Gunther's helping us with the production today. Episode 2, Season 10. Have we ever really had West Seneca West on the program in the last few years? We have?
Yeah.
Who?
Previous quarterback.
We had Stupak?
Yeah.
Really?
In fact, we had him. We brought him out to when we were at the.
That's right. He came to Riverworks.
Where Riverworks. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
How did I forget that? I feel
Had a
shame.
great week. That was week 4. I want to say it was.
Okay. He would have been an 8th grader.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, he probably watches what was going on with the team. So, but before we go anywhere, Mario Hall, what a job on that Hall pass he just did. I mean, seriously, that came out really good. Great job, Mario.
All right. So we have Mason Anderson with us, the quarterback from West Seneca West. We'll get that camera working in just a little bit. I know it's a little out, not working just yet, but we'll get that working for us. How nervous were you taking the field? I'm going to guess by talking to John Kinder last week, he said he wouldn't be nervous at all. Were you? Any butterflies? Okay. Talk about your relationship with the other guys on the West Seneca West team. As a freshman, it's going to be tough, obviously. Tom, you got a freshman coming into a varsity locker room. Did they take to you right away? Where did you grow up playing football? We play South Buffalo this Saturday. My son's team, they're 0-2, and they're being outscored 170-6. So you're not going to be anywhere near that field on Saturday, thank God. We just played a kid named Ragone. Is that the kid? Racone or something like that from West. He's a West Seneca quarterback. He's pretty good. I think his dad was a Connelly Cup finalist one year, if he didn't win it all. But he I'm very impressed with that young man. But anyways, so South Buffalo. Did you guys play at Tift? Where was your home field? Okay. So you come from a long line of West Seneca West greats. You do know that, right? Has anyone ever told you about the legend Matt Myers? Yeah. 1 year, 2 state championship games, 1 in hockey. They lost to Sweet Home. Tim had a son play for that Panthers team. And then Matt played for what were they called at the time? The Indians, the West Seneca Indians. That was a great run that they had that year. They almost went back, right, the next year. If it wasn't for that just terrible weather at the stadium on that Friday. That was a horrible day to play a game. But anyways, so you come from a long line of West Seneca West greats, and you're trying to hold that program up, and they kind of gave you the keys of the Cadillac. What was your first training camp with them like? Because I mean, you just got into the school this past September. Like they're in the locker room or they're in the weight room in January, February. When did you start getting on the field with these receivers to start getting some kind of rapport with and timing and all that? Okay. Did you see any film on these guys? Did you know what you had to work with? Did you grow up with any of these guys? Is your brother a senior? He's a junior. Okay. And then he's like what's his first name? That's Mike. Okay, so he's like a running back, middle linebacker. Yeah. How many times has he tackled you at home, and have you guys broken any couches or tables or chairs, windows? But is he your protector?
Yeah.
Definitely. Now he is. Yeah. When you walk through the halls of that high school, even for freshmen, it's got to be tough. But knowing that you have the backing of the football team, It's got to make it a little bit easier at least.
Yeah.
Like, who sits at your lunch table?
It's mostly my friends in my grade that play JV football.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're still one of the guys with the kids you grew up with.
Yeah.
Okay, but the varsity guys haven't said, "Hey, you're sitting at our table," and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've sat there. Well, we have a block schedule, so I sit there like once every 4 days. Yeah.
Okay. Talk about the coaching staff. Coach Vastola, how's your relationship with Coach Mike?
I feel like, we had like a good connection. I threw at Joe Licata camp and over the summer, like last year, and he watched, and I felt a connection with him there, and I was just ready to play for him.
Yeah, I remember seeing you maybe last winter at Joe Licata's or another time. I seen you at Joe Licata's before.
Yeah.
Because I know he works with a lot of quarterbacks, and I would go up and just see who's there. And I saw a number of quarterbacks from Akron, Wilson. They're all there. Will South.
Yeah.
Timeman. Who's who of young quarterbacks. But what has Joe taught you? Like, what's the one thing you could take from Joe Licata that he's given you?
I usually like stand like not mentally but physically, like I stand really high up in the pocket, and he's taught me to keep my base so I deliver a better ball.
And then talk about John Kinder, because he's the one that told me to really watch out for this guy.
Yeah. I worked with him since 5th grade. I've built a connection with him over the years, and he's keeping me level-headed because, he keeps me level-headed because I just get out of, sorts sometimes.
Sure. I mean, it's typical.
Yeah.
It's typical for a young quarterback, young kid like yourself. What was the best part of your first game? You threw 5 touchdowns, but was it the first time you ran onto the field with those guys, or did you lead them out, or were you the last one on? Middle of the pack?
I was the last one on. They called us on. But just warming up with them, I knew we were ready to take on Frontier. So.
And then you got to go to Kenmore West on Saturday.
Yeah.
I got no more skin in this game, but I went to Kenmore West.
Oh.
So I know those boys are worth.
Sorry.
You're out. He's out in the conference room out there with Harlem Brandon. You're going to play on Saturday. What were you in Harlem? Were you you guys getting to know each other? I'm sure. You know who he is? You ever met him before?
I just watched the game last year. That's all I know him from, and watching film.
I think he had as many touchdowns last week.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
5 and 5. These guys. Tom, you got a question for me?
So talk about the speed of the game, right? Because when you come from JV to varsity, there's a big difference in the speed of the game. Talk about how you adjusted so quickly to the speed.
I mean, I adjusted. I watched a lot of film from Frontier just because we played them last year, and I picked up on tendencies they would do. So, and Coach Vestal made the game plan very easy for me. So, I just stuck to the game plan and just did as best as I could, basically.
So, obviously now you're going to see as you get into the conference, it's going to change even more, right? So what did you think is the biggest adjustment you're going to need to make from the game you just played against Frontier that you're now going to see from Kenmore West?
I think I'm going to have to play way faster. I was just playing a little bit slow in my first game, honestly. That's a major thing for me.
You only had to throw 10 passes. You completed 8 of them. 3 of them were for touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then you rushed for 2 more. So what was it about your offense? Was it the line? Because we had seen the line in the preseason, or before the season started. Timmy and I almost got knocked over by the guys at Highmark. How do you see over those guys? They're like skyscrapers.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was a team effort. I threw a hitch to Gabe Santos, and he took it all the way to the house. So, and Troy Mobley, I underthrew him a little bit on a post, and he still caught it. So,
when you can get away with things like that, it just makes the rest of the game so much easier. But you built some continuity with your teammates. It's got to give you some, some confidence heading into week 2 as you guys start, Class A play.
Yeah.
What do you think is your biggest strength that you bring to as quarterback?
Biggest strength. I think my compete factor is I'm always competing. I never stop competing. Even if I'm on scout team, I'm trying to make the defense better, make me better.
Did you ever play another position? Have you been the quarterback since Little Loop? And
at South Buffalo, I got benched, and I went to wide out for just one season, then I went back to quarterback.
Did you learn a lot? Was it a shock to you?
I mean, yeah, it was definitely a shock, but I had to do what the team needs. So.
And did that make you kind of refocus on maybe a specific skill, maybe footwork, maybe if you're delivering the football or just rushing through plays? I gotta believe you grew after that.
Yeah, I most definitely grew. I used to have a terrible throwing motion, and I just worked on it. Still working on it with John Kinder. Just trying to like be perfect, I guess. Yeah.
Well, that's a quarterback for you. It's almost like a goaltender. I mean, you guys are like the last line of defense.
Yeah.
All eyes are on you. Is that the biggest crowd you've ever played in front of this past Friday night?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to get bigger.
Yeah.
The lights are going to get brighter, but I think after a performance like that, you're probably going to be able to get used to that pretty quick. I thought it was a fantastic first game. For a freshman quarterback to go out and compete like that, Tom, we don't see that often.
Yeah.
Listen, 5 touchdowns, period, right?
Yeah.
I don't care whether you did it by the run or by the air. 5 touchdowns is 5 touchdowns. I don't care how you look at it, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to now go, and if I say I interview you at the end of the year, and I'm going to say what was your most memorable moment the first time you took the field, what are you going to take away from that first game?
Definitely scoring and celebrating with my team after that first touchdown felt amazing. Me and my center both got hyped. He was right there with me, and yeah, I definitely remember that.
Well, Mason, I don't think you got it on the Connelly Cup this week.
No.
You're going to have a ton of Connelly Cup love as you get older, as you get week to week. 5 touchdowns, tough to argue. You probably should have been on it. Don't hold it against anybody.
Yeah.
All right. I'm on the Connelly Cup.
Yeah.
They know who you are. You know, you'll get on there. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. Believe me. You got 4 more years of great high school football left in you. So, you know, they know who you are. They're well aware, and there's going to be enough of them there on this Saturday at Kenmore West game. So, you know, have yourself a great game. Stay healthy and give our love to the rest of the guys in the locker room. Coach Vestoli is one of our favorites. So, best of luck to you guys the rest of the way. Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mason Anderson on a perfect first week here as a freshman. We are going to be back with Harlem Brandon of Kenmore West after a word from our sponsors.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve.
You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals.
If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Nuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests, with custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Western New York Athletics is back. High School Football Weekly. Frank Wolf, Tom Prince, Tim Gardner producing. Heidi Gunther is assisting in producing. We got Harlem Brandon, the running back sensation out of Kenmore West, my alma mater. Tom, your son played Kemmer West at the stadium that year.
In fact, had the big sack to change the whole thing of the game
Yeah.
in that one.
So Harlem, it was one hell of an opening week for you. 5 touchdowns. I think it was it 4 rushing, 1 receiving, or 4 receiving, 1 rushing?
4 rushing. I threw one too.
Yeah, he threw one. Yeah. So you're jack of all trades. What'd you do on defense?
I had like 6 tackles. I caught a pick, too, interception.
Yeah, you had a pick. Did you serve popcorn at lunch? Did you do anything like at halftime? You do anything like that?
Nah. I just ate Crustable.
Okay.
Uncrustable.
Very good. Very good.
Like 246 yards on the ground. 246 on the ground plus 36 that he received right there. And then 85 yards in the air was his pass. So look at that. Think about that. 85 yards he passed for the touchdown. He receives the ball for 36 yards and then runs the ball for 246 yards.
To be correct, though, you only threw 1 pass.
Yeah, I threw one pass.
One pass, but it went for 80 yards.
Tell us about the play, the passing touchdown.
We practiced it a lot, so.
So it wasn't a broken play?
Nah, it wasn't a broken play. Okay. We always do it in practice, so.
Walk us through it.
What happens?
Like, just walk us through the play.
Oh, so it's a jet sweep. It's like a double jet sweep. He pitch it to me, and I throw it to the receiver. Peanut.
Wide open?
Wide open. Yeah, he should always be wide open.
What was your best game last year? Was it the Star Point game, or was it week after that? What would last year was kind of your coming out party?
Yeah, that was my first varsity year. I think it was Clarence though. Even though we lost, had like 3 touchdowns.
Johnny Haynes has been sending the information to the Connelly Cup week after week about this Harlem kid, talking you up for a while. So I'm glad we finally able to get you on the program. We are doing your game this Saturday against West Seneca West, and we just had the quarterback in here. And did you guys didn't talk any trash to each other?
Nah, we ain't talking.
I didn't have to send Heidi out there for security.
Yeah, we good.
It's all good. But
her son's one of his linemen.
Oh yeah. Yes. Lockport, tough team.
Yeah, it was had a good line. A fast quarterback too.
Yeah, he was also a Connelly Cup. He got Connelly Cup recognition this week as well. What's your favorite thing about playing football for Kemmer West? What's the easiest part about it?
Just playing. I don't really know.
If you weren't playing football, what would you be doing?
Play basketball.
I knew that was gonna ask him that next question was football or basketball. Had to choose.
Like for college?
Just whether you prefer. What do you like best?
If you can get paid to do one of the two, which one are you doing?
Basketball.
Okay. I know Coach Ryan would be happy to hear that.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
But Frank, one question: 22 yards a carry he had. 11. You only ran the ball 11 times.
Yeah.
So 22 yards a carry you had. What was your shortest run?
I think I got tackled in the back.
To the sideline.
So you actually had a negative play in this game too?
Yeah, I did. I think it was like my first time getting the ball.
So there's a negative play in there. So this really, if you don't run that one play, is almost 30 yards a carry is what you're telling me?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow.
So your line this year, has it improved, or has your ability to dodge tacklers improved? Both.
It's both, but our line, they work hard a lot. Yeah. Got a few JV move-ups.
Okay. Talk about the offseason. Because
Off-season.
you guys had a pretty good team last year. I think you came up 1 game short of getting to the stadium.
Yeah, we lost to McKinley.
So you probably got that team circled somewhere. I'm sure you want to get some retribution there. They're good. They're good too. They're really good. They obviously just showed it this past week with a 1-point loss to Lancaster, which they probably should have won.
Yeah.
But going back to that off season, did you recommit yourself to the weight room? Did you do anything different to get ready for this season?
No, I was just going to the weight room like late nights, 12 o'clock at night and stuff.
Okay.
Eat a little healthy. That's about it, though.
Okay, very good.
I gotta ask a Johnny Haynes question right here. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know what he does for the Ken East games, and I'm gonna get Gatorade and dog bones and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Did he do anything big to open up the season to kick it off?
He had a blue Gatorade. He splashed around everywhere. That was about it.
Yeah, he does that. Did you anybody get it on video?
Nah, I don't think so.
So I have a video of him doing the dog bones because when he plays Ken East, he's got the dog bones and he's got the Gatorade going. I got a great video of that one.
You get up for the East game as much as any other game? Or is that really still a major rivalry?
Yeah, a little bit. It's just like any other game, though.
Yeah. So, looking at your schedule, you got a tough West Seneca West coming in this week. It seems like they've got a pretty big line in front of them and a young quarterback. How are you guys preparing for this game against the Warhawks?
We watch a lot of film, so we just we got a scout team.
Yeah.
We do they plays. That's about it.
Had it been a good week of practice so far? We're only at Wednesday.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been
okay.
smooth.
What's Thursday night like? Because you guys play Saturday. I'm sorry, you guys play
Yeah.
Saturday. So is Friday night a team dinner at all or anything?
Yeah, we do team dinners like spaghetti and stuff. Spaghetti meatballs.
What's your favorite pregame meal?
I don't usually eat. I don't eat food.
Not those Crunchables, I hope.
Yeah,
Crustables.
Yeah, they bring them in. I just ate them.
Do they have a good? They have a good spread out like at halftime, in your locker room to rehydrate and things like that. They have oranges.
Yeah, oranges, bananas.
Okay.
Fruit.
Anything left over?
Nah, not after the game. Nah, yeah.
I hear that.
Nah.
What was that bus ride home like from Lockport after the big win?
It was exciting. We was celebrating and stuff, playing music. Yeah.
If you guys can get out to a 2-0 record, I'm sure that locker room will be even more excited.
Yeah. Hope so.
Any game in particular you're really looking forward to this season? Did you look at your schedule?
Yeah, I looked at it. Clarence, Sweon, and East. Always East.
Outside of Kemmer West, is there any? Do you have a good friend on another team that you look forward to playing?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's a good answer. There's no friends on the other team.
Yeah, I don't got no friends.
That's a guy who likes to. That's a football player right there. That's a football answer. So you look at these two jerseys here. These are two guys that played Section 6 football. They didn't go and play at a private school. They played the public school, and they're in the NFL right now. When you look at that, does that give you the hope that someone like me could make it to a level like this?
Yeah.
Does that inspire you at all? This kid played at Lancaster. He played Kemmer West. This kid played at West Seneca East. They were also an A team at one time.
Yeah.
Both these schools, Kemmer, Lancaster time, West Seneca East, played Kemmer West. So these kids came right out of Section 6.
Yeah.
You know, Isaiah McDuffie, who's at Green Bay, played at Bennett.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully seeing what those three individuals have done inspires kids not only in your locker room but other locker rooms across Western New York. This could be you. This could be you right here. In 5 years, 6 years, that could be you right there.
Yeah.
You got to believe that, yes?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, I do. Who's your closest teammate on Kemmer West? That could get you in trouble if you answer, actually.
Nah, Jarrell Lee.
Okay. He's a lineman?
Yeah, lineman.
Big guy.
Big guy, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you win, if you make it big, you're going to have to get him like a watch or something, or maybe a car.
Yeah.
Well,
just one quick question I have also. So you told you're watching film. You've been obviously watching film. What's the difference that you've seen on film of West Seneca West versus Lockport?
Difference. West Seneca West got a good running back. It seemed like nice, fast. Yeah, but both quarterbacks look like they can run a lot.
What about the lines?
The
what
line.
do you see about the lines?
Oh yeah, West Seneca West got a good line. Look like a nice, strong line.
And then Lockport known for speed, right?
Yeah.
As long as you. What about speed between the two teams? What'd you see?
I seen more speed. Lockport.
They've always been fast.
Yeah. Oh, and there's no right or wrong answers here. It's just these are things you learn from the film. Is what I'm trying to say is. So, what did you see by the film that you think you can help, or that is going to help the Ken West team?
Just being aggressive on the line, making tackles.
Harlem, you did a great job. I know you were nervous about coming in, but you did a great job. You did a great job, and I'm hoping you stay healthy the rest of the year. Give our love to the guys in the locker room there. Wish you guys the best of luck this Saturday against West Seneca West. It's the first home game of the year at Crosby Field.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone there will be very excited.
Tell Coach Haynes we said hi too.
All right.
Coach Maselli brought you in here today?
Yeah.
Did he take you to dinner tonight?
Nah, he asked me though. I ain't gonna have food.
He said he doesn't like to eat. It's crustable, so
no big deal. But Harlem, thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wish you the best of luck the rest of the year. Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Harlem Brandon, Kenmore West Blue Devils, graduates this year. He's a 2026 grad. So best of luck to him the rest of the year in the Kenmore West Blue Devils. We'll be back in just a second afterward from our sponsors.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve.
You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals.
If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
We can't talk about all of them, but we're going to talk about some of them. West New York Athletics High School Football Weekly is back. Tom Prince. I am Frank Wolf. Hope you're enjoying the show. We just had 4 really good guests. Eric Rupp and Mike Ceslick are always good. They've been on the show before. But meeting that young quarterback, Mason Anderson, and then Harlem Brandon, who is just here. Mason from West Seneca West, and Harlem from Kenmore West. They're going to play Saturday at Crosby Field, 2 o'clock, a game that you'll see on the NFHS network. Who's on that game? Do we know who's calling that game?
Which one?
Kenmore West and
I'm on the call for.
You're on the call?
And I'm joined by.
It's either Joe or Tanner. All right, great. So Tanner's been doing ECC games the last couple of weeks, so he's due for a high school game. Bennett's going to go out to Washington and take on Washington Mazatlan. Bennett at Washington Mazatlan. Now, Bennett went to Niagara Falls last week, and Tom, I think kind of similar to Lancaster, maybe they weren't giving enough respect to Niagara Falls. Maybe Lancaster didn't.
Last year, week 1, Lockport was their closest game, Bennett, last year. So same thing again. But I'm telling you, we've already said it before this year started. It's a different Niagara Falls team.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to be in the mix to even possibly be one of the top 2 teams that could come out of this division.
Yeah, we think at least they're a playoff team.
Absolutely.
If they continue playing at that level that they just played against Bennett. Bennett, I think, needs a couple of weeks to get warmed up. And I think this game out in Ohio is really going to wake that team up. I hate to see who they're playing week 3. That's the team you're not going to want to be facing Bennett in week 3. Dufresne and Franklinville-Ellicottville, Tom. Now, Franklinville-Ellicottville, I can't believe they lost to CSP, but I'm surprised that CSP beat them by 2 touchdowns. They've been waiting and waiting for this game. They've been getting their butts handed to them by the Tate Catneses and the Hinsdales year after year. Finally, they're gone. But this CSP team, they've got some life down there. Dave Buttimer, congratulations on your first win down there as the coach of that program. I'm very happy for you guys. Man, they really did a number on Franklinville-Ellicottville this past weekend.
You know, I want to say is I think the more of the chip on the shoulder was on CSP.
Maybe.
Because I think everybody said is you've graduated everybody. They're gone. You're not going to be as good. You're going up a division. And they heard it all. Heard it all over and over. And guess what? They stood tall and, boy, came up big is what they came up big. Congratulations, though. That's a big win. You're right for CSP.
Maritime Tapestry is going to take on Eden, North Carolina. Both teams won in opening week. Congratulations, Coach Glenn and Coach Charlie.
I can't wait to see the quarterbacks go head-to-head in this one. This could be a really good 500-yard quarterback game, right? It's going against each other.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game and getting the reports on that one. Niagara Falls takes on Will North. Now, Will North, they need a bounce-back week. Niagara Falls, after playing so well last week against Bennett, they're going to have some momentum on their side, right, going into that game. It's at Will North. I would expect Will North to play a lot better than they did last week against Jamestown, and Niagara Falls, I expect to continue playing as well as they did week 1.
I think this is a good barometer game for Niagara Falls to see if they've taken the next step.
They can beat Will North. It's the biggest win that team's had in some years.
Yep, agreed.
So Clarence at Sweet Home. Sweet Home got a win over Niagara. Wheatfield, Clarence, a team that a lot of people aren't respecting right now, and they should. And they had a big week
Coach
1.
or not, that line is still a line to be able to deal with, and that is exactly what we're going to turn around.
Coach Dixon gets his first win. So Clarence and Sweet Home, they square off at Sweet Home Friday night. Now, Will South, they got to get it in gear. They play Will South and Pioneer go at it. Pioneer had that big win over Lackawanna, and then Will South, they had the loss to Will East. Why don't we take a quick break? We'll get back after a word from our sponsor. We have enough games to talk about when we get back after a word from our sponsor. You're watching Western New York High School Football Weekly.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve.
You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals.
If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Welcome back to Western New York High School Football Weekly. Tom will be joining us in just a little bit. Had to run out. I wanted to talk about one of those Thursday games, though. Depew at Iroquois. That should be on WNYO. If you caught last week's Thursday night game, you should have seen the Western New York Athletics commercial starring Vic Nazzo and Tim, your lovely fiance, Christina, and, of course, Evan Harrington, who's now out in Syracuse, heading up CNY Athletics. He did a great job last Saturday on a call on the Henniger game with East Syracuse Manoa. But the Depew Iroquois is a very interesting game. Iroquois coming off of a loss to Grand Island. Not shocking that they lost to a tough Class A Grand Island team. Shocking that they lost by such a score. I thought that was a little more one-sided than it needed to be. And Depew's coming off a win over Dunkirk, where they had a commanding lead, but the Marauders came roaring back. So I don't know if Depew took their foot off the gas or not. And I don't know exactly what happened with Iroquois last week, but that should be a big game on Thursday night. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, WNYO. North Tonawanda, Grand Island. Both teams are 1-0 heading into week 2. Going to have to start talking a little bit about NT Grand Island. That's definitely a major measuring stick for North Tonawanda. They had to win over Hamburg last week. Their Hall of Fame game. That opened up maybe a couple of eyes because we didn't know what we had with North Tonawanda. But here they are at 1-0 taking on Grand Island Thursday night. And then the game, Tom, that you and Jake are doing, Lakeshore at South Park. You got to we're not sure what we have with Lakeshore, but they played tough last week, as did South Park, but they're both coming in at 0-1.
No doubt. I'll tell you, this is a big barometer for NT. Grand Island looked very, very good against Iroquois, and we know a top quarterback over there. But I'll tell you the same thing. These are two teams looking for a win, and it'll be good to see. I think this is a good spot right here for Lakeshore to see if they're going to take the next step. And South Park retooling, a lot to graduation right there. Coach versus coach game in their first one. Let's see how this one pans out, but I'm hoping this is going to be a good one.
Okay. Before we get any further, I do want to send a shout out to 3 individuals, Tom, all seniors.
Okay.
Malik McCall from Dunkirk, Isaiah Hill from Maryvale, and Dominic Anzalone of Bishop Timon. And you know where I'm going with this.
I do.
3 seniors that all play multiple sports. Dominic, I think, is mostly just a football player. But either way, all 3 guys went out week 1. Devastating injuries. Most likely will not return this year. I'm heartbroken for these kids. Those are the only 3 I know about. I know there might have been some other injuries, but these are the ones that I heard about and you heard about, and we wanted to at least give them some love and let them know that, hey, do what you got to do to get better. Dominic Anzalone, I feel horrible for. I feel horrible for all of them.
All of them.
Isaiah came back last year after
didn't get to play running back last year. Only played defense. Listen, my heart goes out for all these kids. These kids were all on watch lists for Connelly Cup finalists. All of them were, right? All guys to look out for if they did something special. And I can't stand to see injuries like this. It is just a shame.
I didn't get a chance to talk to Malik yet. I did talk to his head coach a little bit last weekend. They don't believe he'll miss basketball season.
Okay.
Should be back by then, so that's some good news at least. But that kid wants to be out there on the field with his buddies, and they were coming back against Depew last week, so I feel bad. Isaiah, that sucks. And then Dominic, last year Aquinas, this year. I still don't even know who they play. I think it was St. Andrews they played out of Canada.
Yeah.
He goes down in that game. I think it was the first quarter too. So just tough break for those 3 schools. Definitely for those 3 kids. But we're thinking about you guys, and maybe we'll try and bring all 3 into a show.
You said that, and I think you asked me that earlier, and I said absolutely. I would love to see that happen and get them to be a part of something with their final seasons and make sure they're a part of it. So. Which I am sure they're still going to be at practices. They're still going to help coach kids up. And that's what makes these 3 such great athletes that we want to call out.
They could still be leaders. Randolph had a win in week 1. Coach Nate down there, Armella, good job to him. They take Allegheny Limestone on. Roy Hart Barker, Tom, and Akron are playing this week. Those 2 schools need wins. Roy Hart Barker especially. I think they played somebody somewhat tough this week, didn't they? They lost to Newfane. Is that who it was?
Yes.
Was it but either way, we expect more out of Roy Hart Barker, especially this year. Portville had a big win. Chautauqua Lake had a big win last week. They go at it at Portville. Carson Hayek will be at that game. Big first win for Ty Harper. Portville had a statement win this weekend as well. I expect Portville to have another big game this week, and maybe they can slow down that Chautauqua Lake, Westfield, Brockton offense. We'll have to wait and see.
Parker Roy Hart was Newfane.
Okay.
Remember, you got Capon over there at quarterback. This is a kid with Division I offers. I get that, but now's your time to see if you could bounce back in the next game.
Springville is going to welcome Salamanca. They had a win in their first game of the year against Olean. Falcon are at CSP, so there's another tough matchup for CSP. But, if you're going to go far and see, you got to beat these C teams. Falconers up right now.
This is now a conference game.
Yeah.
This would be a non-conference. This will be a conference game.
Jamestown at St. Joe's on Saturday.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
I remember last year was, if you remember, when this was down at Jamestown, was the coming out party of the comeback for St. Joe's back into the mix.
Yes.
This was the game that we looked at, was the coming out.
So this could be, there's a lot of questions at St. Joe's. You lost probably a star player who would have been your star running back this year. So who's going to fill that gap? We're going to find out on Saturday against Jamestown, and then West Seneca, Ken West. We talked a little bit about that game. We like the Harlem Brandon kid. We think he's a huge threat anywhere on the field, defensively, offensively, whatever you want to call it. And then we know this quarterback, freshman, he's going to have a game too. St. Francis, I believe they play Saturday night against the St. Andrews team. Now, that is a night game on Saturday out at St. Francis. So if you're not busy Saturday night, go out to Athol Springs. They've got quite the show there too. The Trent Buttles kid had a great first week here in Western New York. I was about to say Section 6. He was a Section 5 player last year.
Varsity opponent that's for the one that's out in Canada.
Yeah. So they'll play them on Saturday night. That's a good opportunity to go out and see Franny. You didn't get to see them last week because they were out of town, but they are in town this week. So good luck to St. Francis. Congrats to Jerry Smith and all the coaches out there. They're looking to make it 2-0 against St. Andrews and keep that rolling. What game are you looking forward to most this week, Tom, would you say?
I mean,
is there one?
Listen, I'm big on rivalry games. I am going to look to that Lancaster Orchard Park team. I think this is a big game for both teams. They both had a very tough first game, and how are you going to bounce back right now to get ready for league play? You normally never see this game this early in the season. So this is really because neither team wants to go 0-1 to start off this season inside conference. And if you look for Orchard Park, 0-2 possibly on the season, not something they want to they want to fall into. But I will say this West Seneca Ken West game could be a lot of fun. We're going to learn a lot about both teams.
Congrats to West Seneca East. Big win opening night against Star Point. I'm interested to see how they bounce back as well as Star Point, as a matter of fact. West Seneca East gets Cheektowaga. For a while, that was a big rivalry. Cheektowaga got a win under Coach Bob Musatelli. I want to say one of his first wins with that program. Congratulations to Coach Bob. Star Point goes to Newport this week to hopefully get a bounce-back win. We'll see what happens. Newport, did they win or lose last week?
They won.
They did win, yeah. Yep. Coach Tracy, congratulations
to you. Over Albion, correct?
Yes. Congratulations to him. Niagara Wheatfield and Frontier going at Frontier. I know Frontier, I think they're better than what they showed last week. But I also think Niagara Wheatfield's a little bit better than the way they played against Sweet Home, and I think that'll be a good game for them. Will East at Hamburg is an intriguing one. Hamburg, after losing to NT, they can't afford to lose another game. We'll have to see what happens. But, Tom, I am looking forward to that Maritime Tapestry versus Eden North Collins Friday night, 7 o'clock. If we can get someone over there to get us some reports, that'd be a fantastic.
I want to see the first quarterback that's going to hit 500 in this one because I really believe this is going to be a shootout.
Absolutely. Check out on Facebook the Connelly Cup. They got their auction item up. I believe they had Steve Tasker last week. I think this week they got an item from Andre Reed that you can bid on and raise some money for a good organization. The Empire End Zone Report Friday night with Jake and Francis. They did a great job last Friday. And
tons of compliments, folks. Tons of them. Watch it. You're going to learn about any game you want in Western New York. You'll hear about
it. They're updating you left and right. This week's going to start at 6:30. We think 6 o'clock was a little bit too early to start. Okay. They're going to start at 6:30 this week. And then my buddies Tyler and Leon doing a great job at the Western New York Football Report. I don't know exactly where they are this week. I forgot where they were, but they do a great job on Instagram. So continue to do the great job that you guys do week in, week out. Timmy, you did a great job producing this show this week along with Heidi Gunther. She was doing great, making sure that the players got into the building and sat them down, gave them some swag, right? You gave them some swag? Okay. Good job on that. Tom, any final thoughts before we hang up and listen?
Week 1 is always, that's where we start to learn right now. Week 2, tendencies now begin. So now, are you going to break the tendency? Or is week 1 going to be the team that you're going to see moving forward? So a lot to learn from, and we got a lot of big games. Remember, a lot of games week 1 are out of conference normally. We're getting into conference games, a lot to learn from this week.
Timmy, you don't have a graphic at all for those large and small things I did, right? You do. Do you want to show it?
And this is not me on this one, so.
Go large, so Tom can laugh at me. and everyone else out there. So this week, that's my small schools. That's all right. I keep there. We'll start on the small school. Okay. So I moved Pioneer. That's all right. I moved Pioneer up because they beat Lackawanna. I am very high in the Southwestern Frewsburg team.
Should be.
Maybe higher than some others, but I saw them over the summer and I was with that team a bit, so I know them pretty well. Salamanca, I think they're right there, and then Bishop Timon. They're still a tough team, but with Anzalone out, we'll have to see. They're fast. They're a fast team. The Anzalone injury is gonna hurt. Lackawanna, they didn't lose terribly to Pioneer.
7-0. It was one score, 7-0.
And I think Chautauqua Lake, Brockton are going to move up that list in the coming weeks. Newfane should do the same. Maryvale moved down a little bit, I think, and with the loss of Hill, that's detrimental, I think. Even North Collins may creep up a little bit. Depew, let's see what you're made of this week. You got Iroquois. They could flip-flop this week if Iroquois holds true to form there. On the radar, I got CSP, go on to Pine Valley, the Hawks, and then there's Western New York Maritime, Tapestry. Portville, you're always on my mind. Wilson, of course, and West Seneca East. Any one of those teams can move in. To those
Remember,
spots.
Portville, send that message to Frank Wolf, not me.
And then the large school, well, it's going to be Canisius on top until they lose, or St. Francis. If they can take them over, they play last week of the season, I believe. So that's how your 1 and 2 is going to go for me for this year at least. Canisius, the reigning MMA champ, until you beat them. They're number 1. Bennett holding down that 3 spot, Lancaster, I wanted to see a little bit more on them on Friday night. We'll have to see how Bennett does this week out in Ohio. I think even losing to that team out there in Ohio isn't that team can beat most teams in Western New York. Jamestown, they had an impression on me last week. They're better than I thought they were. Health Sciences, I mean, that was
absolutely
a performance.
That's a huge week 1 win.
Yeah. St. Joe's, I thought they played very well from what the news I got and what I read. They did very well against Cardinal Hayes, a state, well-known throughout the state. A lot of people said St. Joe's hung in there with them, and they're going to be a top team here in Western New York. McKinley's right there. West Seneca West made an impression, and so, as did Clarence. On the radar, Grand Island, Niagara Falls, Kenmore West, Lockport, NT, and Sweet Home all on the radar. We'll see if you guys can move into that top 10 after this week of games. There we are.
Those are pretty good polls. I mean, I may have a couple different spots on some things, but I like what you got there.
Make sure when you do your rankings next week, you get your on the radar teams.
Oh, you have to. We never did that before because
the hate mail will come to you.
Or the texts.
The texts, the tweets, the mad DMs, all that stuff. Great first week of high school football. Week 2 is going to be even better. I don't know what game I'm going to be watching tomorrow. I think that Depew Iroquois, I'm going to have to really pay attention to that one, but I'll also have another eye on South Park and Lakeshore. I'm somehow related to the Lakeshore quarterback, so good luck to him tomorrow. Hazard, good luck to you, buddy. And, of course, Tim Delaney is one of my favorites, so good luck to him as well.
The only thing I wish is that the game was at Lakeshore. I love that band.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bands outside of Niagara Falls. That's a given, right?
Jamestown for me.
But that Lakeshore band is so much fun, what they do. And that's the only thing I wish we would have saw.
Okay. We'll catch you next week here on Western New York High School Football Weekly.